Thank you, sir. I'm going to read from the clip notes for a moment. Good evening to you all. My name is Duncan Gill. I live, work, and raise my children here in Hurst. I am also responsible for some of the crowd that has gathered here today because, in case you haven't been informed, you have a rapist and a child predator stalking your streets. And instead of locking him up, your police department has chosen to do the right thing of shaming the victims. My friend Torie and my friend Casey and Casey's children are all victims of this man's abhorrent crimes. On August 12th, over 45 days ago, Torie, who is a high-functioning, autistic, proud lesbian woman, walked into Hurst Police Department with all the evidence she needed to prove that these crimes, as well as many others, have been committed. Included in this evidence is an admission of guilt by the perpetrator, a promise to do it again, and unshakable evidence of at least 23 ways he is violating his existing sex offender registry under Chapter 62 of the Texas Penal Code. Instead of being met with comfort and assurance that this man would pay for his crimes, or even an explanation that these things might take time, but that the Hurst PD would do everything in its power to assist in this endeavor, Torie was told by your detective that it's not rape if you can't feel it. See, Torie is disabled. She has a genetic disability that limits function, or it limits external feeling in her lower half. Let me tell you right now, I don't know if your detective has any idea of how the human body works, but she felt every second of it, each and every time. I will not bother to quote Texas Penal Code to you guys, I promise. But I will paraphrase Potter Stewart and say the obvious. I know it when I see it. This represents, at the very least, a gross mishandling of the law, and at worst, an outright attempt to shame the victim of perhaps the most heinous crime a human can commit on another human. So we took Torie's story to social media. Our little town is now under national and international scrutiny. I don't know for sure if you are aware of this. How does the Hurst PD respond? By calling her a liar and refusing to speak with the victim, going so far as to block her phone number from reaching the non-emergency line. We have evidence of this. This is not just conjecture. And all while this is happening, this monster in man's clothing is not only prowling the streets unimpeded, he has been able to take the victims to court, Torie for an eviction, and Casey for custody of her 7-year-old and her 4-year-old. The 7-year-old, by the way, has been showered in gifts, and an act with this man's credibility can only be called grooming, whereas the 4-year-old has had to be subjected to an abuse examination because of the bruises on his 4-year-old body. I know my time is limited, but I could speak for hours about the dozens of other victims that have come forward to me, to Torie, to Casey, since this has gone public. When one has the courage to come forward, they inspire others to do so. And this case is no different. My video may be the one being shared globally, but it is their pain and their anguish and their stories that have brought this to bear. Regardless of your religious or political ideologies, what this monster has done is beyond the pale and cannot be tolerated. And yet, the police department has done nothing. It is not a matter of proof. It is not a matter of he said, she said. Any person with a badge can arrest somebody when they break the law in front of them. You can arrest a felon walking down the street with a gun on his hip. Anybody with a badge could have arrested this man by now. So I'm here to ask y'all, is your police department here to protect and serve the criminal, the child porn peddler, the rapist, or are they here to protect and serve the victims like Torie, like Casey, like my friend Katie, who was abused by the son of your training sergeant, another man that never saw the inside of a jail cell, or Mandy, whose rape case was closed with 0 results after 1 month of ignoring her. Or as some have suggested, are they here to protect them, serve themselves, and maybe their pocketbooks and pensions? In the original video that I posted, I quoted Edward Hale. If you did not see the original video, the quote is as follows: "I cannot do everything, but I can do something. And just because I cannot do everything does not mean that I will refuse to do something that I can do." You know what you have to do. We want justice for Casey, for all the victims in your city, all the survivors, and for Torie. Thank you.
Thank you. Duncan, I did let you go well over because I felt like that you had a story to tell. The other people, if you have something extra to add, please do. But I am going to keep you to the 3 minutes, and when 3 minutes, I'm going to hold the card up. But I felt like his story was worth listening to the whole. The next person is Mandy Wyndham from 825 Norwood.
Yes. My name is Mandy Wyndham, and I reside at 825 Norwood Drive. In 2021, I reported a sexual assault case to the HPD. Detective Eubanks closed my case after 5 weeks of never contacting me, resulting in closing my case without ever speaking to me or considering DNA evidence. My case never made it to court. I never received justice, and my rapist remained free. Today, I'm here for another assault victim named Torie, another case seemingly being ignored by the Hurst Police Department, despite provided evidence. I have spoken to other victims in Hurst with similar cases, and we have decided that enough is enough. I'm here speaking for those that did not survive their assault and for those that are too scared to speak. I'm asking for the city of Hurst to make the